What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Rochelle, and I am back with another budgeting video. Now, I heard back from our community. Thank you guys for voting and letting me know which video you would rather see me drop today. So here it is. Over 50% of you guys wanted to see my overall 2020 debt payoff progress, and so we're gonna dive right in and get into it. Now, first, if you want to connect and stay in touch outside of YouTube, all my links will be somewhere over here or over here. Don't forget to show some love. I will definitely check you out too. Well, let's dive into the video. Okay, so I've switched over to my iPad so I can show you guys exactly what I do to track my debt payoff progress. First things first, you have to check out this website, Undebt.it.com, I guess it's called. But the reason I love this site is because it helps you track from a bird's eye view more closely as to how your debt is slowly going away. So I'm sure there's a better way I could have said that, but basically this is the home page. It helps you pay off your debt so you can do what you want with your money, live debt free. So I created a free account, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like when I log in. And for now, I do only have the free version. I feel like it's more than sufficient. There is a paid version. I see here at the top, there's a 25% off promo code. So feel free to use that if you want more of the features that are going to be locked. But if you want to know how much it costs, it does cost $12 a year. And when you really think about it, you spend more on lunch than that. So anyway, I actually don't need it because we don't have a lot of debt left, thank goodness. So let's dive into my accounts. Whoops, actually what you would do is go to my debts and then dashboard. So guys, this is my favorite screen of the whole website. It automatically tells you where you are in your debt journey. So right up top, you can see it says debt free August 2021. I cannot wait until that date. Next to it, it has this bar graph, which I just realized right before filming this, that you can tap on to see what your debt payoff journey has looked like year over year. I'm assuming that's year over year, but I'm not for sure. Or maybe it's just the highest balance we've ever had as far as debt. So I just started plugging our data in using this app early this year, maybe January or February. I wish I had this all along so that I could actually know how much debt I've paid off. When I tell you we have stopped and started and failed and restarted so many times. So anyway, this is what it looks like. That's your overview. Next to it, it has your balance. Our balance is $35,922. That's all we have left to pay off, which is our mortgage. I can't wait. But for now, next to it is the calendar. And I have to be honest, I don't really use these features. This is when it kind of tells you what is left as far as your debt snowball payment for the month. So I kind of use this as a bird's eye view, and I use a separate tracker to monitor my spending and debt snowball, but it is nice to see. So right now we're in the dashboard view. Here's everything as far as my active debt account summary. For our mortgage, you can see how much our interest rate is, how much our minimum payment is each month, our current monthly interest. Isn't that disgusting? How long we have left to pay it off. We are going to aim to have this thing paid off by spring of next year, but worst case scenario, I will take August next year. Our projected interest is another $1,300. So I like that it keeps track of the interest, because the more debt snowballs you make, the more you will decrease your chances of having to pay that interest. So guys, get gazelle intense. This is what this website can help you to do. Now, I'm going to focus more so on the things we've already paid off this year, because this is the year that we got it right. So on your left, you see easy mode. Now, this is what I would do if I was, using this website for the first time. When I actually set up my debt journey inside of here, this feature did not exist yet. So basically all you would do is plug in your monthly budget. So it asks, what is your total debt budget? For now, ours is $3,500 a month, but that's because we have paid off so many other things, guys. So do not get distracted by that number. I will show you in another video what I'm talking about, but you would plug in that number. Say it's only $100, but just remember you want to include your minimum payments in this number. That will help make your numbers more accurate. I think. I get kind of confused on that part. Anyway, your payoff stats. So right now, this is our minimum payment. This is how much our snowball amount is left for the month of, what month are we in? September. $1,787 is how much we've already put toward our debt snowball, because remember, it's $3,500. And our overall progress is 70%. Now, payments made totaling $1,787, that is including the $587 minimum payment. So if you add the $2,900, the $1,787, and the $587 minimum payment, you have a total of $3,500 plus the minimum payment. So see, I just talked it through and saw that the $3,500 does not include the minimum payment. Moving on, number 2. Here is where you would add your debt accounts. Guys, when I first did this, I am telling you, I had to swipe because I had so many debts. Do not get distracted by that. It's okay. You need to see it on paper to really let it affect you emotionally and motivate you to pay it off quicker. Next is number 3, the debt payoff plan. This is my second favorite layout on this free website. The debt payoff plan gives you a choice to look at your debts by debt snowball, by debt avalanche, hybrid, and a series of other different ways. Play around with this. This is where you take an extra few minutes and decide how you want to knock out your debt. Sorry, they're going through maneuvers today, so we have a lot of planes flying today, if you hear that in the background. Okay, so anyway, we chose, when we first started out, to do the debt snowball method. That is pretty much what we did 75% of the time. But there was a point in time when we had a super high credit card. I want to say it was Discover, and we owed about $14,000 on it. And the interest was ridiculous. Like, I'm sure it's on here. We'll see it in a minute. But we decided to switch over and start applying all of our extra money to that credit card just because it was so out of pocket. So, like I said, play around with this. You can have it so that it starts this month or next month. You can even download this and use it offline. It's just a really great feature. There are a couple of ads, so be careful where you click, but it's not overwhelming. Okay, so that's where you would start. That's how you would set this up. Now I'm going back to the dashboard, and let's keep on diving down. So account list. This is an overall view of all the debts we have paid off for the year so far. So as you can see, there's a lot of zeros. We've worked hard, but guys, look at these interest rates. This is what I'm talking about. Look at Discover, Capital 1B. That's right. I had so many Capital Ones, I had to start lettering them, A, B, C, and D. And actually, you will see that in another video, that I've had so many more credit cards than what I shared in 2020. It's just that we had already paid them off before I was really back on YouTube. So anyway, Capital One had an interest rate of 22.49%. Micah's Capital One, 22.9. My Capital One, 22.9. So it got to a point where we were just focusing on paying those off first because the interest was just out of pocket. It was just crazy. So here we are. Our original balances may not show in this screen, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere else as we continue along. But you can see the minimum payments that we were making: $70, $95. And I can tell you off top, Capital One B, each of my Capital Ones were both at $2,000. And if you're making $95 payments on a 22% with, a 22% interest rate, you are not getting far. So that is why it's important to kind of play around with these numbers, see which one you want to pay off first. Next, moving down the list, you can see our debt accounts listed there. We are 71% paid off as far as the mortgage. Actually, I might be saying that. It might be the reverse. Yeah, I'm thinking we have 71% more to pay off. Now let's dive in. I think additional payments is a paid feature. Oh no, it's not. So here's where you plug in your debt snowflake. So there are some duplicate screens inside this website. I noticed it gets kind of confusing. And maybe I just don't understand it enough yet, but I thought we already crossed this bridge in the easy mode. But that's another way you can plug in your debt snowflake. This is where I get the term debt snowflake. So we have that debt Snowball, which is $3,500, but then you have a debt Snowflake, which is something that's a smaller payment. Maybe you're only able to make a $5 payment, a $20 payment, something of that sort. Those payments still count, guys. So say you get, I love these tips, say you get an extra paycheck or a bonus. This is where you can come in and spend your money wisely. Next off is payoff history. Now I know for sure that this is a good snapshot of our transaction history. So you can see how much we have been paying. Now this is, I think it's just going by date right now and billing month. So for the last 4 to 5 months, these are all the debts that we have been able to knock out and make huge payments on. And there's 23 of these entries because I don't always plug these in. So I have in the automated once a month payment, but then I will go back once a month and say, okay, this is how much we paid total as far as a debt Snowball. So you can see we paid on Capital One B for July. We made an extra payment of $3,278.95. I just love the numbers. I just love seeing how the transactions break down. You can do it by month. That way you know how much debt we've paid off. And look at this. Like, we already in the month of September are up to $1,787, like we already said. August was a hot month because we sold the car. Paid off $14,602 of debt. July was another heavy hitting month. $20,982.86. Now you might be wondering, hey, Rochelle, I looked at your July budget. Okay, so you might be wondering, Rochelle, how did you pay off $20,000 in the month of July when y'all didn't bring in $20,000? Sometimes, guys, I make mistakes. I do not share all of our income. I sold things. I had IOUs that came in for the month, and people were like, oh yeah, I owed you money and I forgot. My husband worked overtime, and sometimes those overtime checks take a while extra to hit. So there's pending payments at all times in our main account. There's times when I get personal money and I let it build up. I get $107.50 every 2 weeks when we get paid. I don't spend it. I've been really gazelle intense. And so every few months I will take that $500 and throw it at some debt. So these are the things you can do to use your money wisely. And like I said, when I saw that needle pushing on Undebt.it and I saw how close we were in the month of July, I think it was like July 20th, I logged in and I was like, we can knock out all of our credit cards if we pay another $439 right here and another $638 there. And I started plugging away, y'all. All of a sudden, all that shopping stopped. But as you know, August, it came back with a vengeance. But that's my little update on how we were able to pay off extra debt even though we had less income per our July videos. All right, now back to the screen. Back to this website. So you can really see how we had two really good months, July and August, and that is how we were able to become consumer debt free. Now June was still a really good month. $3,000 went towards my credit card. May, another good month. So you can really see May is the month that we really started to get serious about our credit card debt. Now, some of these are back payments, and so the numbers may not be up to date. Well, not up to date, but be as accurate. So it may have hit, that payment might have hit in May because I plugged it in May, but it might have happened way before then. Like I said, this was not a website that I went to until starting earlier this year. But I really highly recommend it, guys. It is so motivating to look at. So the payoff snapshot history, that's a paid feature. So I don't have any idea how this works, but that would be something you would see if you paid for it. Next is the debt payoff plan. That's where we already looked at. We can see the debt snowball table. You can compare methods, all of that. Like I said, this is duplicate information that is also found in easy mode. So I would start in easy mode and plug everything in there and then just look at the dashboard and just go from there. Next up is payoff snapshots. and that's another paid feature. Like I said, they have a lot of different ways to look at your debt. So, you can definitely find something to work for you. Then is another feature that I loved is the YNAB Sync. Now, I did have the YNAB Sync for about a month because, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody has ever used this site, it was free for about a month. And so I did have my free trial of YNAB connected. And it was really nice. I was able to see how much money we had on hand, how much, money we had left after paying bills. You can really make those two websites integrate and work well for you. Then one of my favorite tabs is the credit utilization. This is where you see how you spend your credit. Where's your debt? What are you working with? How do you look compared to others? So the credit utilization, let's start with the debt distribution. We had a lot of different types of debt. Of course, mortgage right now is going to be 100% because we paid off all the others, but we had auto loans. We had school loans. We had credit card debt. We had medical bills. We had everything, okay? A little bit of everything. The only thing I can honestly say we never really had was unsecured debt. I probably could have made out better with an unsecured loan versus these credit cards with these super high interest rates. But I'm not going to speak on that because I hear unsecured is really for those who are just starting out with credit. Next, APR distribution, interest rate breakdown. Now, our average interest rate was much higher because of the credit cards, but it's lower now at about 7%. And we obtained this mortgage back when our credit was shot. So I'm not surprised at all that it's so high. I have considered refinancing. I have spoken to my 2 advisors, the people who I get financial advice from. And they just said, because I'm making so much progress so quickly, knocking out this mortgage, it doesn't really make sense for me to call my bank and get a refi at this time. And I kind of agree. I feel like I would be going through so much energy setting all that up that I could just keep making these extra payments and knock it out quicker. So I'll keep moving forward there. But like I said, this is a good snapshot view, bird's eye view, where you can really make those type of decisions from it. Credit card usage, 0%. First time ever in my adult life I've ever seen that number next to my name. But it also shows that we have a little over 25K available to use for credit. I don't know how I feel about that. I've heard different things. So at first, when I started my debt-free journey, I would pay a credit card and I would call and get them to cancel it, and I would cut it up and never see it again. But my credit took such a hit. I did that for over 7 credit cards. I remember like the 5th or 6th credit card, and I was like, this is not working out in my favor, because I did plan on using credit again later on in life, but in a way more responsible way and with a better type of credit card, because your girl had like $500 limit credit cards. So I say all that to say I'm going to keep this open for now, because I want to see what my credit score will do. My credit score is currently taking a dive because we are paying off things so quickly, and they like for you to stay in debt. So, when you're coming from my amount of debt, your credit score is going to take hits because you're paying off things quickly, but it will level back out. Like, I think I was up to like 780 as of a couple weeks ago, but once we sold the car and that fell off our credit, and a couple of other last credit cards finally fell off our credit or went to 0, it was a little too much all at once, and my credit score did drop by like 20-30 points. But it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. And then credit utilization, I love that we are in the green, 0%. Your current credit utilization, lower is better. So here go the debts, y'all. Here is what we paid. The highest balance that I ever had. See, I thought it was $2,000. Look at that. Capital 1B was $3,500. Car loan was over $34,000. Discover, I know for a fact it got up to $14,000. So the highest balance on this website shows as $11,500, but I think that was the credit limit. So my credit limit got increased. They're probably getting these numbers from when I was connected to YNAB, so they're not the most accurate. There go to that doggone IRS. We owe $12,000. Debt destroyers, if you're watching this, y'all got this. Go follow them. Go watch their journey to paying off their taxes. Mike Capital One, that's his one he uses for his job. That's up to 6,000. And I'm talking like credit limit. Actually, it's up to 8,000 now. I'm looking at the wrong part of the chart. Sorry for being confusing. Discover's up to 14,000. IRS is down to 0. Mike's Capital One is sitting at 8,000. The mortgage started at 50, now it's down to 35. And my other Capital One is sitting with a 0 balance, and it has a limit of 2,600. So those are the open lines of credit that we have right now. Of course, scratch out IRS, not including that. But these are all the cards. Oh, you know what's missing that I never put on here because we always just use it just for like daily swipes and then we pay it off at the end of the month? Our Apple cards. Those I think are, Micah probably has a balance of 3,000 or 4,000 on his Apple card, and mine is 2,500. We've never used all that. So that is, I love these tips at the bottom too. Some tips to help improve your score. They really do try. They really do try to help keep you motivated. I love it. The stats and projections is a paid feature, I believe. Yes. So I will go back, and there's our ambulance in the background like we always have every video. And then go to my accounts. And this is where I would initially make my changes. So my current budget is $3,500. Oh, I've been a member since April 26th. I used to log in as a different account, and then I forgot the password too. There's several things going on here. No worries, keeping it moving. But $3,500 is our current debt snowball every month. We try to hit that number because we know that if we pay $3,500 every month for the next 12 months, we will be debt free by August 2021. Phew. Okay, so that is it. That is how our debt payoff progress went for 2020. I know it was kind of all over the place, but I really wanted to dive in and show you guys that free website. Take full advantage, y'all. Check it out, plug in your debts. And if you think it's a lot of work, I also started just plugging in the major credit cards at first. Oh, I hit my microphone. And that seemed to help. So do what works for you. Either way, you got it, okay? Stay motivated to pay off this debt. That's all. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and budget.